The red team, their biggest name bringing up the rear, ready for the ordeal. The other team arriving one by one, but with a single position to defend. And the audience all dressed up with a debate to go.
Six of the main campaigners from both sides of the EU referendum debate will go head-to-head.
Immigration, the obvious first subject.
Which decision, leave or remain, allows us to put in place the appropriate controls to ensure that we have immigration that only improves and adds to our country.
Now, I'm massively pro-immigration. I'm the descendant of Turks and very proud of it too. But there's got to be democratic consent for the scale of the flows that we're seeing.
Australia is a massive country with a small population. They choose because they have a controlled system. If we have a controlled system, we can choose.
And within minutes, Boris Johnson, the obvious political target for the other side.
I want to do what Boris once said he would do, make the case for immigration and the contribution it makes.
This is a complex problem. There isn't a silver bullet, and I know that that's what Boris and his team would like to have, but you need to look at the numbers, although I fear the only number that Boris is interested in is the one that says number 10.
Then a vicious spat over the disputed claim by Vote Leave. The EU membership costs £350 million a week.
It doesn't cost £350 million to be a member of the EU, and you know that's
Are you saying that
true,
that's
and you've emblazoned it across your bus.
It's a bit rich to hear the man who used to say we should be charged for using the NHS pretend that he's now the defender of the NHS. I am staggered that Boris Johnson is standing here tonight still defending this £350 million a week figure. It's a scandal that that's still emblazoned across the campaign bus because it's an absolute whopper.
Boris Johnson again drawing the most fire from the other side.
Boris, get that lie off your bus.
May I respond?
And what we're going to do is repaint that bus, and we're going to put a leprechaun on one end, a great big rainbow on one side, and a pot of gold at the end.
It is perfectly true and verifiable that there is, in fact, slightly more than £350 million a week that we do not control. That we do not control. Huge sums of it go to Brussels and never come back.
Then to the nub of it all. Would we be richer or poorer? What would the economy look like if we left?
The country votes in 14 days, and we have no idea whatsoever from the Leave campaign what would be happening.
We have a very good idea from the Remain campaign.
No, we have no idea what would be happening with our trade. You can't tell us whether you'd do a deal, whether you wouldn't do a deal. You've said you'd come out of the single market, but you haven't said what you'd replace it with.
Can we just stop this, as Nicola Sturgeon so rightly said, a miserable, negative, fear-based campaign? Because people will see through this. This is not about any of us here on the panel. This is not about the current government. This is your once-in-a-generation choice as to who you think should have control over the majority of the money which we spend.
Boris, you don't seem to care about the millions of jobs that will be at risk if we leave the EU. I think you only care about one job, and that's your next one.
I don't think that you care. I don't think that you care. Sorry.
Again and again, outers brought it onto immigration.
On the streets of our city, on the streets of London, because of the European judges, there are terrorists and murderers and very serious criminals that we cannot deport, because the European court is taking control over that kind of question, and I think we should take that control back.
Again and again, the in trio took the fight to Mr Johnson.
Boris Johnson is not interested in your job or your protection. He's only interested in David Cameron's job.
Thank you.
Labour has still to produce a woman leader of the party, though maybe Angela Eagle will sort that out at some stage.
Boris, beware of the blonde bombshell.
There wasn't quite a six-person shouting match, but...
How can the public really trust what any of you are saying?
Think about whether it actually is going to make us stronger, safer and better off by being in it.
I ask you to think more about what we have gained. The longest uninterrupted period of peace in modern history. The world's biggest single market of 500 million people to sell our goods and services into.
There is a contrast between this side of the argument that is offering hope and that side of the argument that is offering nothing but fear about life outside.